Okay, welcome, dear Dhamma friends, Venerable Dhamma friends, for the Dhamma question and answer session. I would invite our Venerable Susara to read written questions to start the session.
Oh, you're very small letters. So the first question is, if I remember you correctly, you said, you talked yesterday about the meditation. If the meditation is successful, keep focusing on the main object. Is it main object? Keep focusing on the object of the breath. And
should I tell the question?
yes, yeah. You say it, yeah. You take the mic.
So yesterday, as I understood it, when we keep our focus on the primary breath as the primary focus, we go from the sensual sphere to the form sphere and then to the formless sphere. And I think you mentioned that Venerable Sariputta mentioned 4 characteristics of that sphere.
Okay, you get read the question, please. Can finish the question.
I was just wondering how one recognizes, because you said that sometimes you don't know whether you can overshoot it, you said, or you can feel lethargic before that. And how exactly can one identify that situation?
So I would like to know that when you are meditating, can you give your experience, then it will be very lucid, it will be very easier. So this question is, I understand. What do you feel your primary object according to 3 stages? How do you feel?
What I feel is I find the breath, losing the breath, and then after that it is a blank. And you have always said that not you, but others also, that I have fallen asleep.
You are.
Yes, I know that. Well, at least I'm told, so I don't know what happens during that time.
It is because you are sitting completely wrong way. You are not doing sitting meditation, you are doing sleeping meditation. You have to sit upright. You never sit upright. You are making just like a bed cushion. Then you are inviting sleeping. That is a separate
So
issue.
how do I sit?
Sit in a straight back chair.
Means chair.
You take a chair. Generally, you are supporting your body. You are really, how do you call, you are really torturing your body. It's very bad for your health, the way you are sitting.
So if I sit forward?
No, sit, take a chair, go to that, sit straight, take here. The way you are sitting, it's very bad for your body shape as well as the health and your respiratory system, completely upset.
We can try the bench.
No, here, this on the bench.
Yeah, sit here, and then you can adjust yourself, you can make comfortable. Maybe difficult for you to sit on the ground. And therefore, this is separate issue what I am telling. So therefore, that going into blank, in your case, maybe your starting position, sitting posture is wrong. So therefore, respiratory system is not erect. It is bent, and therefore respiration is not proper. So it is not a meditation problem, it is just physical structure. So these are, we understand by experimenting. Whatever it may be, when and where you find you can be with the breath and friendly with the breath, it's a big achievement. And if you can express it, yes, I can be with the breath I know it, that is kind of appreciation, that is a good achievement in the breath. So my question, before going to the direct question, I will cross-question you, if you permit me. When and where you feel the breath, before it is becoming calm and quiet, how do you feel the breath? What are the intrinsic features of the breath?
I feel the in-breath, the cool breath going in. It goes quite fast, and then as it comes out, it, it comes out in little breaks,
Little,
and
many
it's
breaths in,
warm,
out breath.
and it's much longer than the in-breath. That's the initial stage. Then, then it gets shorter and shorter both, and finally they merge. They go like that, and then they disappear. Both have disappeared,
Yeah.
and I just see, but sometimes I don't know whether I'm in that or not.
Yeah, that is why we share. It may be sometimes humiliating you, but what I have to do it, that is why I am doing. When and where it is becoming calm, you have to start thin slicing of time and more vigilant, more diligent observation, otherwise shortfall of the object or overshooting the object can happen. Then we can come to your question rather. So now you are explaining how do you feel when and where the breath is there. You feel the cool in breath, short and broken out breaths, and it's calming down. And when that happens, as far as you know, you go from known to unknown. That is the point you have to exercise double dose of the mindfulness. That is the point where you have to be very vigilant, very diligent, immediate with the object. Otherwise, mind is playing the trick. That means magic of the mind happens.
Yes, but I think I go just they merge, and I lose it. I lose the breath.
So that is the point. We, not only you, the whole group of us have to pay attention. When and where the known thing going to show unknown with respect to the known, that is what we call the advancement in our meditation. That's an adventurous thing. So when it is happening, mind, the consciousness play games. Consciousness become magic of the mind. So therefore you have to note it very precisely. That is the place we call the incising of time. And some people says breath go into pieces. So one author wrote a book, Going to Pieces Without Falling Apart. So that means now you know it is, when you observe very closely, it is not a single one unit, it is not a hard and concrete one. There are cracks and fractures between the in-breath and out-breath. So you have to understand now it demands heavy attention, heavy mindfulness, very diligent. And when there you see between all the cracks, the space going to happen now. The matter go into space. When that happens only, you have to, how to go on toes to really observe. Otherwise, mind is going to play trick. So that is the point. Diligent effort and precise aiming must be highly synchronized. Don't give any chance, because that is the point where mind is playing the trick. And that is exactly can happen in walking meditation. Exactly can happen when you are doing your day-to-day activities, also a familiar thing. When you are observing, a kind of trick can happen. It is sometimes you are just falling into sleep and coming back like. Sometimes you get jerks. And if you have fallen short of the object, sleepiness, boredom can happen. If you overshoot it, then that also doubt can happen. What is happening? How that was a solid thing going to go into pieces? Is it a trick of the mind, or is it something practical or pragmatic thing? So therefore that observation, no one can help you, but the Jnanarama often used to say Go prepared, because now you know this is what going to happen. So when you go prepared, day by day, your sharpness, that is called what you call the sampajanya, your clear comprehension is becoming very efficient. And your question is, somewhat is how do you call, not properly taken up. What I mentioned was, even if you go to the nothingness, and at the beginning it's a hilarious achievement, it's a really encouraging, energizing achievement, but after a while again it appears boring. And when it is appear boring, you have to understand that very boredom is the bottom line of the truth of suffering. Even if you go to the known to unknown, from the material to the space, or to matter to energy, it's a great achievement. Even then, more and more you familiarize it, it appears like boring, it appears like monotonous, appears like doubtful, uncertain. So that is the point I enlightened with Venerable Sariputra's statement. Venerable Sariputta says, in Parisambhida Magga, the truth of suffering manifested in 4 characteristics. One thing is torturing nature. Second thing is burning nature. Third thing is its ever-changing facets. The fourth one is it is happening not due to single reason, multiple reason. It is manifested. So, Pilanatto, Santapanato, Viparinato, Viparinamato, Sankatato. So there you have to understand this is what the truth. This is what the suffering. Our mind never happy to be face to face with it. Either daydreaming or sleeping, some of the other escape. If you can remember Sariputta, Venerable Sariputta, at that time you can understand, yes, it is torturing. It's burning. It's ever-changing facets and number of variables. So when you observe it, in common English we call it a flux. It's a boiling pot. And that is the least amount of defilements in your mind and the least manipulations and manifestation, or least tricks in the mind. When you keep on with that only, you understand cheating nature of the mind, how much it is pulling you from this, either to the sleepness or doubtful situation. So maintain the balance is what you call not to carried away by the 8 vicissitudes of the world, and you know how to keep the track. It's a very important issue, a very important, event. But I was waiting to tell you, your sitting posture is you are torturing yourself. And you being the same person asking the question, I get a golden opportunity to crush you. I will crush you. I can't tell, that is Dhammajiva.
I didn't hear the last.
I will crush you.
What? How?
Because you are not helping your meditation, you are torturing your body. You have to learn.
I was wanting to ask you this several times before. I wish I had asked earlier.
I have no shy on that grade. I crush. Because we are not jokers, we came here for this. So therefore, all you four, anyone sitting leaning against the wall, you are hating meditation. So therefore sit upright. I was so humiliated, so upset when I was in Burma. So each and every sitting I am falling into sleep. Not that I have pure characteristic to blame you. I have undergone it. But my teacher never blamed me when I raised the question, exactly told, you are falling short of the object. When you are nearing the real Dhamma, you don't have enough energy. Of course, I was in Burma, you don't have any that kind of a seat arrangement. In the German retreat, there's no organizer. Everything is like a kindergarten. You have to go to other meditation centers and see how much you have been regimented. Put square rows, don't move. You assign a seat, no cushions, sit. That is why you are happy with German. You can have any amount of cushion and lean against the wall and start snoring. So maybe I am happy like a discouraging questioning. No, I have no such.
Next time I will sit in the middle and try.
Yeah. No, I know you have your body is somewhat disturbed. Sit in a place like that so that you can, at the beginning, you can have the upright sitting, upright. The respiratory system must be undisturbed. You know when a baby is sleeping, how the mother is taking care about placing the baby in the cot in the symmetrical way. Exactly the same thing. You all are not mothers, you all are grandmothers. So give the body, when the Dhamma is contributing, then the Dhamma is revealing, give the maximum support. Don't consider it as a personal attack, personal humiliation. No, we have to 100% open, kill each other, crush each other. Otherwise, Dhamma, the mind is such a magician. So we have to be very, very critical. So therefore, the back to the question, whenever the mind is aligning to the center or to the middle path, the consciousness is playing either put into this side or that side. So whenever it is happening, you must have fallen into the trap at the beginning, trial and error. But we are working in a very rich tradition. There are remedies after understanding not to fall short of the object, not to overshoot the object. That synchronizing energy is a highly coincidence. It's a kind of a balance, a kind of a electric thing. By fine tuning, you have to keep it upright, just like a flame, burning without cross currents, without flickering, just upright flame. I am sorry if I have humiliated. So
I'm not
I
humiliated. I came here to learn.
I would have done it on the first day in order to save others, but I failed because I am not a good master.
Habt ihr das alle verstanden?
Only one question.
Only one written one. Okay, you can. They have some questions.
Thank you, Bhante. I would like to report if I'm allowed to. So this is about first session of sitting today. I was sitting on the floor.
Thank you.
Without cushion, just on a little blanket. First, I was aware of the sitting posture by the hardness of felt on the bottom, the leg, ankle, and the feet. I heard sounds from outside, still was with the object. Then the breath became prominent naturally by itself, and I stayed with the breath. Felt it, the in-breath as cold inside the nose, ingoing. Out-breath was warm in the nose, outgoing. Then I noticed pain in my back. It was like hot or burning, like the size of an egg. Just on the, I looked at it and it decreased a little bit, and I went back to the breath. I noticed then the in-breath and out-breath a little bit otherwise, like an expansion of abdomen, the in-breath, out-breath like a contraction. And at the same time, I felt cool and warm in the nose area. So it seems to be like simultaneous. Then I noticed that the last third of the out breath was more subtle, I think. Yeah, I noticed it not because warm in the nose, but only by a very little contraction, the rest of contraction in the abdomen area. Oops. So I noticed thoughts and still was with the breath, but the breath appeared a little bit more like distant or blurred, but still was there. Could notice in and out breath. I noticed the thought and went back to the breath. It sharpened again. And there was one time I noticed an itching in my throat and I coughed, and it was a sharp contraction of thorax, abdomen, and a very rough outflow through the throat, but no warm or cool sensation or so. I didn't notice that. Then I noticed that my posture was like collapsed. I bent forward and then I corrected, and this cycled, I think, for 7 times or so over the period of meditation.
Can I ask questions?
Yeah, of course.
So when specifically the dramatic event is coughing, do you think the before coughing and after the coughing, your mindfulness on the breath, how much disturbed, or so to say, after the coughing, when you come back to the breath, if it had happened, was the breath disturbed due to the coughing, or the mindfulness was disturbed due to the coughing, or you can just continue with mindfulness without nothing happen?
So before, when I noticed the itching, it was disturbed. I went to the itching, and I think I lost the breath. Then the coughing came naturally. After that, the breath was more rough for a short time, and I went back maybe a few seconds later or so, I think, and then it normalized. Or may I say it was then as calm as before.
That is what I just wanted to make a point. That is the starting point. If you catch the point, you can make use for your whole life, or you are sympathizing of your whole mistake you have done in the whole samsara through this gateway. The gateway is maybe a cough. If you know before the cough you are mindful, soon after the cough you are mindful, the cough itself has nothing done, any mistake, any akusala, any defilements to you. Therefore, if you can, your assurance before cough, I was mindful. After the cough, I was mindful. Everything you have done, good or bad, is null and void due to your awareness of the mindfulness before and after. So therefore, even if you are disturbing someone, even if you are lying maybe unconsciously, and even if you know before and after that, if you are mindful, no defilements. That is called how to make defilements null and void. Null and void.
Null and void,
Yeah. So therefore, we can forgive ourselves, we can forget ourselves, we can not to worry about our mistakes. If you can make sure before the mistakes and after mistakes, you have the mindfulness. The most important thing is after your disturbance on the way back home, if you can give a very clear account, that means your recovery rate is very fast. After the cough, you can say how calm, how the breath is little disturbed, and then after calm down, and this just like as earlier, going to continue means that the healing process that called reconciliation, or it is called not the resolution, it's called Recovery, there's a mental, that's a term, jargon is there. Your reconciliation, recollection, and that indicates how much mature you are in meditation. Because the coughing is not yours, it is something happening. It's a body knowledge. And then, if you are not meditated, you regret upon that. Then your recovery is very bad, very late. Without worrying, if something happened, if it is naturally happened, if you can assure, again the mind is just like earlier, it is continuing, that time you taken from the action to recover, if it is reducing, that means you are sympathizing yourself. You understand, clearly comprehend it, and it is catching the speed in time to happen. It's called reconciliation, resilience. Resilience. So it's a very great character. They are measuring in meditators, those who have meditated long, not that they are not doing mistakes, not that there are no mishaps. Mistakes and missteps are there, but they only see how much it can come back to the resilience and quickly come back. That means forgive and forgotten. And such a people have so much of compassion to the others. They can understand others' mistakes. And that is what they call metta. And that is what that we discussed with this. Whenever something happens, how quickly you can heal yourself, how quickly you can reconciliate yourself, recover yourself, that can be measurable from the brain activities. It's a very good way of whether you are a Vipassana yogi or Samatha yogi. Samatha yogi curse himself, herself, and find fault with the person disturbing others. You find fault with your cough. But the Vipassana yogi never mind. After things happen, how quickly you can recover. Maybe a sound, maybe a thought, maybe a pain. How quickly you take. The Buddha gave number of techniques or mantras. He says whenever coughing happen, or you think something mishap happened, disclaim it. It is not me, it is not mine, it is not myself. And Buddha says again, Viveka Nissitang, Viraga Nissitang, Niroga Nissitang, Panissakanupassi. Look at very leisurely. Don't take it as me, myself. Viraga Nissitang, whenever you take leisurely, it becomes faded off. Won't be very prominent. Nirodha Nissita, you see the disappearing part of the phenomena. Resilience part of the phenomena. And Panissakanupassi, as far as you know resilience part, there is no chance for regret. If there is no regret, a quick recovery can happen. So then onward, you are a newly born baby. After the mistake, just like after a bath. So how quickly each and every mishap make you young, make you dynamic, no accumulation. So I call it is born again Buddhism.
Thank you very much, sir.
I think she has also.
I wrote something in English.
Please read it.
I need my specs. You want to read it? I have to bring my specs if I want to read it. I'll have to read it.
Come a little closer.
Dear Bhante, thank you for the instruction on Sati Sampajana. I tried to put it into practice. I felt there were 4 tracks or layers in my mind. These tracks were first of all, experiencing the phenomena noticing the breath. Second, observing the first track or watching over the first track, which was quite strong, so that was no usual thinking I have. And third, noting what was going on in sentences. And fourth, sounds and recollections of some sentences from the Dhamma discussion.
Fourth, you have to repeat the fourth.
Sounds and recollections of some sentences from the Dhamma discussion.
So I would like to take it as an observation, and you mentioned that whenever the breath is there, and there's another layer, is observing the breath. That means kaye kayanupassi viharati. Buddha mentioned you are aware on the body on body. That means you are looking at the body as if someone else.
Yeah.
So that observation is what we call vipassana. You are not taking at my body, you are not happy enough about body, you are not upset about the body, you see body as body. Kaye kayanupassi viharati, observe the body on body.
Yes, I know this sentence, and I ask myself if is it meant that that I observe the whole body as a whole body, or some phenomena within
The body here means a heap, agglomeration. Your body is agglomeration of 4 elements. The breath is agglomeration of air elements. The heat is agglomeration of heat. So it can be defined in many ways. Imagine a pregnant woman having a baby inside, and it is her body. After the parturition, it's another body. And now mother is looking at the child very, very caretaking manner, and look at the baby sleeping, baby is playing. Likewise, the day you can see your body, that means you are completely forgiven. Anything baby is doing is not a naughty for the mother.
It's not.
It is not naughty, it is not a kind of aggressive. It is cute. So like you can observe your body with full compassion. It's one aspect of the second layer of observation. You take a step back and observe yourself. And that can happen vividly in walking meditation. You are just walking like a puppet, and it is like a video camera, and later you can see your own clip. How do you walk? So likewise, when it is happening, that is a reflection. That's a kind of a pratibimba, or your reflection upon yourself.
Yeah.
You are looking at yourself, you see as another being. So it's a kind of a viewpoint. The Buddha appreciated it. That's called the first stage in mindfulness, and that is the way you promote sampajanya, clear comprehension. You are not trying to be perfect. You see the body as it is, and you are not worried about, or you are not highly elated about. You see that non-judgmentally you can see. And then whenever the mind tries to go off the body, you can use noting or labeling of the same thing in order to keep it face to face with. That's called Vitakka, or applying thoughts. And that's the technique we have when your mind becomes disobedient, and again we can call by name. Walking, 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 in breath, in breath, in breath, sitting, sitting, sitting. Then the mind is, tendency is there to go to the label or naming, and when that happens, you can keep the track with your sitting posture, you can keep the track with your in breath and out breath. Still you can hear peripheral sounds. You can see thoughts are happening, and it can happen side by side or one upon the other. You can see breath and the thoughts are side by side. Breath and the sounds are side by side. breath and the other bodily movements are side by side. Or you can see breath is closer, sounds are far away. Or sounds are closer, breath is far away. Like as you can see now, you see in a multifaceted way, and therefore the mindfulness is diversifying now. Mindfulness is specializing to see while keeping the primary object in view, others also can happen, but they are not really impinging you, really not inflicting you, really not irritating you. They are specializing to your mindfulness, diversifying your mindfulness, make mindfulness versatile, and when that happens, you know not to worry about the peripheral thing as far as you have the primary object in view with. But when you develop very advanced level, even your primary object is not available, it's gone. And the thoughts are there, pains are there, and sounds are there, but you can observe them as is someone else, or you can get a distance from the pain, distance from the thoughts, distance from the sounds, and you feel like in a bulletproof cage inside the battlefield. You know you are protected, but the battle is going on. That is called protection by the mindfulness. Dhammo have rakkati dhammachari, or it says the manifestation of mindfulness is you feel protected. So at the beginning you feel it in sitting, later you find little bit of a cage like protection in walking meditation. The day you taken into the day-to-day activities also, whenever you do your own thing without a second person involved, you can see you are carrying your own aura, your own protection right round. So whenever you familiarize it, as if you are living with Buddha. The protector is within you, and later that aura is increasing, your good vibration increasing. So it is so to say, whenever the Buddha is coming to a meeting, come to a congregation, all the other people become very calm and quiet to respect the Buddha. Everyone knows Buddha do not like so much of talking, so much of movement. So if you wish Buddha to come back again, you have to respect in such a way, be calm, be silent. That is because of his influence. Likewise, this is catching. So they are not result of meditation. This understanding layer by layer, understanding stage by stage is what you call clear comprehension. Discrimination, delimitation, and then it appears like an asset. If it's a mixture, it's a lost. It is beyond control. When and where it becomes separated, it just like appear like a servants. You can use different layers, and not only that, it's still further and further, different layers. You can understand at the core, at the center, always Buddha is there. Do you believe?
No.
No. You German.
I'm not German.
Hast du alles verstanden? Hast du alles verstanden?
We get a Mitschnitt. We get the soundtrack of that, so
Okay.
so it's okay. But I think it's okay.
You have no self sympathy. You have no self love.
Yes.
I'll kill you. Even the peace coming to home, you close the door. Mind you, in the center, Buddha is there. So you are slowly going from the periphery, little by little, just like unpeeling an onion. You know onion?
Yes.
Just like unpeeling an onion. More you go inside, very subtle layers. And deep you can transparent layers. Remove one by one. And don't rush to remove 2 layers at a time. No, one by one. You feel like crying?
I feel like
Crying?
Crying? No.
Good.
Can I ask a question? Because it's new for me to observe the breath. I usually don't observe the breath. I have feelings within the body, and I experience them.
No problem.
And now I try to observe the breath at the same time, and I took the hands to the sides to make the feelings not so strong.
Don't promote feeling. If the feeling happens, you will make use it. Take the breath as your pivotal point, breath as your benchmark. That is the thread. When you are making a garland, you have to take a thread and put flower after flower. You know how to make a garland? Flower? How do you call it?
Eine Kette aus Blumen, Blumenkette. Wie man eine Blumenkette macht, man sticht eine Blume nach der anderen auf.
Take a thread and put one flower after the flower.
Ja, eine Blume nach der anderen. Ne?
The thread is mindfulness. And let the breath happen. That becomes the main object. Feelings can happen. Perception can happen. Your volitional activities can happen. Everything you put into the same garland, and you know the core aspect or the central aspect or the theme is the breath. So accumulation is there. Very simple thing, but it gives so much of confidence. The confidence comes, of course, after a little time, not at the beginning. You have to practice, and while practicing, the confidence happens. You see the breath become old lady. She is not happy to say old lady. She says breath is the Buddha.
Can I ask a question about the Dhamma talk yesterday? You talked about coming to face to face with Dhamma Rupa at the Arupa stage. I didn't understand how it could be Nama Rupa. With my experience, the when going from what Vibhanga said about the breath breaking into little pieces and then disappears, before you go into the nothingness or the subtle layer, there is a layer that I experience where you are in a dreamlike state, where very little snippets of thought come and go, and then that stops, and then there is this bare awareness stage. I don't know whether that is what you were talking about yesterday, where sometimes the light comes and sound comes and whatever, and I feel that there is only just bare awareness rather than a nama rupa. I couldn't understand where the rupa part comes into that stage, if that is the stage that you were describing. I wasn't too sure about the nama rupa aspect of that.
No, I have to give an example to exemplify this. In the night time, the space is full of light, but there is nothing to reflect it. Therefore, it appears like dark. So whenever something goes to the sky, space, it appears like the glittering thing, but it is not due to its own light, it is due to the reflection of the sun, and that therefore we call, now you can see the space, you can see the darkness, light in the darkness because of the matter. So that matter carries some kind of a light just mere by reflecting. So there is a light as well as the matter. Likewise, the consciousness is always there. If there is no matter, go and hit, you can't see the consciousness. So therefore, each and every time you see the matter, you see the consciousness.
So the awareness that you feel is because there is some little matter there that is...
No, matter is there.
Matter is there.
The matter become your scene, your scenery because of your consciousness. So therefore, you can't say it is only a matter. It's always a reaction with the matter and consciousness, only seeing happens. Then only it become an object. So whenever something happening, come up to the state of object of your seeing, when you come to the eye shot, it's already Nama and Rupa. And when and where to understand the Nama Rupa, the whole world is Nama Rupa. But what I try to express is sometimes you reduce your labeling, you reduce your volitional activities, you reducing this me and my relationship, but still the function, the manifestation of a Nama Rupa is there. It is no any complication, just mere Nama Rupa at that time. So when that happens, you are delimit your reaction, you delimit, you do away with your assumption. But still, even if you are utterly innocent, even if you are utterly inactive, still the Nama Rupa functions. Friction is there. That is suffering. For example, when you see a potter, you can see different kinds of pottery, artifacts, a clay pot, a clay the vase, or a plate, anything. And there's a undone clay also. All of them are clay. Whether it's made out of this thing or this thing. So therefore, only the matter is this clay is important because it is untouched. So easily we can say this is clay. But this and the other one, no, it is a pot. No, it is a plate. No, it is a vase. Because it has assumed something. So whenever you reduce everything and make the clay separate only, then we call clay. But of course already made items also mere clay. So therefore what the Buddha says is to delimit it, do away with all your volitional activities or restraint or labeling, liking and disliking, reaction, assuming, and then still there's a kind of a flux. It's a kind of a boiling thing, and it is torturing. But it is worth calling Nama Rupa, but it has not manifested yet as a Rupa, or Saddha Rupa, or Gandha Rupa, or Rasa Rupa, or Pottabha Rupa. So it's the same thing. Whenever consciousness hit, it has the potential to either be a Rupa, Saddha Rupa, Gandha Rupa, Rasa Rupa, Pottabha Rupa. Soon it become a defilement. So how much you can keep in its original primordial form, that is called you keep your stream of consciousness as undefiled as possible. And then you can see through it.
And once when you are in that state, all of a sudden the mind goes into something and then comes back. Goes
Well,
back
that
and
is
comes
a
back.
magician. It's always wanted to not see the Nama Rupa, instead to see Rupa, instead to see here Saddha Rupa, instead to hear Gandha Rupa. Then only story taking can happen, story fabrication can happen. So it's a magician. So the Buddha says, cut his own limbs.
But it's out of your control at that point.
No, that up to a certain extent you can do away with Sabbha Papa Sakarana. First, do no harm, just observe. Don't be happy or unhappy. Don't be manipulative. Don't make out of that. Don't make doubts. Don't be uncertain. Don't be fearful. Don't be sleepy. Don't be bored. Just see what achievement to once you reduce up to that level and keep that in view with, that means the total potential, total possibility, sampatti. It's a sampatti. Whenever it manifests, it's dirty.
But it's tiring.
Yeah, that is what I wanted to tell her. Venerable Sariputta said it is torturing.
So this is what the Venerable Sariputta said
It
about
is
his
burning,
life.
it is torturing, it is a manipulation of many things, different facets. So you feel like doing something, commit, do you, moment you do, you get committed. Defilements happen, your main thing is get a distance observer state and see how long you can see it, but still that is not Nibbana. But that is the closest position. You can understand how much you are ignorant so far in the life to manipulate such a thing. And ultimately start storytelling, start fabrication, start telling this is my job. And everything what you did is inferior than the original form. Anything you have done is, it's called adulteration. It is called dirty. It's called defiled. So do the least amount of defilements and then you are not accumulating, doing new karmic forces. But past karma can go. Due to your past karma, you may be observe this as unpleasant, that you are, due to the advice of the Buddha, due to the restraint, you are not contributing to the new karma, no new sankhara. So sometimes it appears like a very beautiful, very sampatti or very achievement, contented, inalienable, unalloyed. Sometimes it is a very boring, torturing, burning, it's like a frothing. But you have to go through a number of facets and see, it's the bare minimum you can go. You have never been on your sansara like this, and this is also due to thanks to the Buddha. And when you go there, one day you can see any craving for that kind of a dirty thing, what a foolishness. And telling this is me and mine like in the conceit, what a foolishness. And telling this is my egocentric, you see, you have no control, it is ungovernable.
So is this where the wisdom start to happen?
It can be a wisdom or foolishness, it depends. How do your outlook into that? If you consider it as a burning, torturing and kind, it's utter foolishness. Even though it appears like burning and torturing, don't commit. Just keep as long as possible, not only in sitting, not only in working, walking, not only in working, even you are fighting with someone also.
I didn't understand the last bit.
You can't. Even when you are fighting, the Namarupa is Namarupa. You can be fighting in a drama. So if you are a very good actor, you can fight without getting emotionally get involved, that you will be paid more. The worldly drama also the same. Don't take so serious. It's a drama, it's a dream, it's a mirage. It's called Leela, Alavattam. This whole world is nothing, but this kind of thing only you can see when you reduce to the original potential energy or the bare minimum source or least amount of defilements, but it is not very rare thing in our life. Only thing is delimiting it. Only thing is isolation. Refine and take it there. Then you find it is not yours. It is not under your governable. Even if it is torturing, who cares? It is not me. It is, you can disclaim it. But it is due to the Buddha, it is due to our systematic meditation only I can bear minimum reduce to go and to that state. It is something like it's a deepest layer in our so-called consciousness.
let's move on as I have another question.
No problem.
Sometimes I said about the breath, losing the breath, and after that I find, like she said, I see something like someone watching from there, the thoughts that are going through my mind at that stage. So they come and go, and then I just get a thought, and after that I'm back, meditation has gone. Now you also said we should not do anything, just keep observing. So when that thought comes and my meditation, at least I have to start from the primary object again, what should I be doing, that or doing something else to stay in that same state?
This is the same thing I just wanted to share with Michelle. Your name? Yeah. He mentioned while you are observing the breath, can hear sounds. And when the sound disappears, when you come back to the breath, it is little disturbed and again it calms down. So it is a kind of a thing, you are on a track, off the track you was, and now you are in the off track, and you know you are in the off track, you know your track. Under such circumstances, you can do three things. One thing is, if you have any doubt, whether it is a happening good thing or bad thing, any doubt, come back to the primary object in order to do away doubts. One thing. If you have no doubts, be in thoughts. They comes to go. And your task must be third, the way back home is an endowment. Be ready for that without worrying about the thoughts. If you are worrying about the thoughts, you cannot be fresh to see the way back home. So this, without doubt, even you are in the breath thoughts and you are meditating or you are making use this opportunity is called resilience. You know you are off the track, no doubts. You know these defilements like thoughts are very powerless thing. You are the person giving power and regret. When the resilience happens, you don't care. Not the resilience, the resolute. When you become resolute, yes, I am in thought. Then what? Once that is finished, it is coming back. You are ready to come back home. So therefore, if you have doubts, take the primary object as your pivotal point, benchmark in order to verify no doubts. If there is no doubts, let the thoughts happen, let the pain happen, let the sound happens. You see how powerless they are in the light of mindfulness. The Buddha says, if you are with mindfulness, you can split the Himalayan mountain into two. What about this utter ignorance? Develop the mindfulness in such a way, with such a adimokka resolution. It is the guardian. It is the forerunner. It is my noble friend. And that is developed by me, not my mother, not my father, not my teacher, not by Buddha. I developed like that. That resolution makes the spiritual backbone of a person. If you do not have that, you always entertain doubts. But even then, you may be advancing day by day the trustworthy mindfulness. So therefore, whenever the mindfulness take the helm, when the mindfulness take the chair in the meeting, there won't be any misunderstanding. The least frictional path is there, and the most comfort zone is happening. So you can let the mindfulness to run the show. In my vocabulary, I put the thing into the autopiloting. Even if you have thoughts, no problem.
So what is that state? Is that
So that,
Chittanupassana?
no, don't assume me. That
No,
is
I'm just asking.
no. That is what you are defining. How can you know? You are painting something I can't see. How can I comment? What I am telling is master it again and again. Then you go and home and you will say, I went to Berlin and bought Patichcha. Oh, you fool! You fool, by labeling, you deteriorate it. It is the adulteration by labeling. Why should?
Good thing I have been divided till the last.
So, භාෂයට කං ඇහෙන්නේ නැහැ. That is, whatever you did not wish to hear, you can't hear. That happened for the married people. They can't listen to the wife. So that's a weakness. That is what you all assume. I mean, everyone is having, don't fertilize it. Don't foster it. Just leave it aside, telling it is arrogance. Arrogance is a very good term, I think. Whenever you try to assume something, am I in the Kayana level or Vedana level or Vasjana or these things, it's mere arrogance. You must be very innocent.
Bhante, may I ask a question about our topic?
So would you come to the mic, then the recording will be easier. But these old ladies, she can't move. And the mic wire is not long enough.
I'm helping to record my being tortured.
Can't help you.
My question is about our topic, Bhante.
You talk to the
Keep
mic.
it closer. No, it's on. Keep it closer to No, it's off.
Yeah,
Switch.
it is about our topic, Patichcha Samuppada. And in Patichcha Samuppada we find the birth as the last aspect at the bottom. But so if we talk about the birth of a human being, so the first two parts like avijja, paccaya sankhara, we say in the past we have accumulated, because of the past avijja we have accumulated sankhara, and the sankhara say ignited the vijnana. Vijnana is forming nama rupa. So when we come to that part, we consider it now the baby is being conceived in the womb. And now the nama rupa is forming the salayatana. Salayatana start also getting contact and the feelings and even the craving. And then comes the upadana and bhava. Then only comes the birth. So I would like to know, Bhante, how we understand now this process where actually that we can say the human being is born. Yeah.
You are self-contradicting when you are presenting. You told when and where the vijnana sets in, that is the birth one time. And again you told when you are mentioning the jati, that is the birth second time. What do you believe?
Bhante, that's what I'm trying to understand. So all this process, even when the embryo start getting feelings, is it not yet born? That means.
That's why we are mixing up Dhamma and the science. You have to come to a one line.
Yes.
Otherwise you are complicating the situation. So conceiving or first the stem cell or parturition, which one you consider as the birth, if I am to ask specific?
Actually, the last stage, I consider.
It is wrong. Whatever you are telling wrong. Because this is some theory. Can you verify it?
It's difficult, but...
No, impossible. Not difficult, impossible. So therefore, just understand that now we can understand how the birth happens. The Buddha is teaching us not to entertain happening birth, but the Buddha is telling to undo it. That on the liberation can happen. Understand?
Yes.
So, if you are to understand then and there when the birth happened for the liberation, can you understand yourself meditate while conceiving? When the first stem cell happens?
No.
When the birth happens? No.
Also not.
No. So therefore, Buddha says, your understanding must be under your very nose, verifiable. So therefore, this is indicating the macro level, the birth of a baby. But birth of a breath, birth of a thought, birth of a pain, birth of a sound. It's a micro level. So whenever you are meditating, you take this macro level, baby born, we appreciate, grown, we are sorry, old age, sorry, death, sorry. So therefore we see the crooked mind, one part appreciate, one part is not. So apply the same thing when the breath happens. It's a micro level, or it's called a reductionism. That's what we call the science. When the reductionism happens, whenever the breath happens, you can't be on the spot when the breath happens. Only you can see the peak of the breath. That is the tip of the iceberg. Enough, well enough. And get that point assured, each and every breath you can understand. In breath, out breath, in breath, out breath. Once that is assured, see breath as an outsider, then the Buddha says, now your mindfulness must be focused to the appearing part of the breath. That means seeing the breath, peak of the or tip of the iceberg is called Jnana Rupa Paricheda Jnana. And seeing the beginning of the breath together called Paccaya Parigga Jnana, that is the point where Patichcha Samuppada come into being. So then you can see the breath, what you see is not at the perceiving, it's already perceived, but you are looking at. That is the game in the samsara. Anything when it comes into understanding, it has already conceived much before you are delayed. You are negligent. So as far as negligence is there, you can't understand. Knowing you are negligent, what you have to do is advance your knowledge towards the conception. So now we are talking about the conception of the breath. And when you go there, what happens is your mindfulness becomes sharp. Your clear comprehension becomes sharp. Then you can see, you can perceive normally unperceivable single tiny signals. The day you go to the beginning of the breath, you can't do away, but you are forced to see the disappearance also. Seeing disappearance is an endowment. It's a gift. More and more you try to see the beginning, but the Buddha knows, in the same token, you can see the disappearance side. And when and where you see the beginning and the disappearance to your breath is completely different thing. I am repeating, just like not the tip of the iceberg. Whenever you see the beginning and the end of the breath, it is completely different. Beginning and the end, it is going to pieces without falling apart. And the middle, solid, one unit. But when and where you go to the beginning, when and where you go to the end, it can't stand its characteristics. It's showing a different thing. So we get completely bewildered. Am I looking at the same breath? At the middle it is hard and fast, unit. At the beginning and the end, going to pieces. So more and more you develop, you understand. To understand the phenomena, you have to let it change. Anicca. Or evolution. Without evolution, if you are going to see hard and fast thing, only you can see is the tip of the iceberg. That is chaotic. So when and where you at the beginning and the end, you understand at the time it appears like a solid, at the time it appears like a going to pieces. And both of them are the same. That is the one our rational mind can't understand. That's why Buddha says, go with impermanent notion. We are going normally with the the permanent notion, therefore, so much so our bodies start to shake and we start cold sweating and we feel like crushing, we feel like heated because our mind is adjusting to impermanent notion. When it's happening, you can see the beginning is the point where thing happen out of nothing. End is thing become nothing. So whenever you see the tiny part of the breath, maybe a thought, maybe a sound, that is exactly the thing, the birth of the baby and the disappearance of the baby. So when you are Buddha giving example, he gives the macro. But in meditation you have to reductionism. Take a very tiny part, then you can see more tinier the part, more you feel the dependent origination. Because it's ever changing in a flux. So therefore the main thing is, even with the tip of the iceberg, start the phenomena, familiarize it, observe closely, believe changing nature, then you are bound to see the whole bell-shaped curve. And the bell-shaped curve is a fractionism. In the fraction theory, whole phenomena in the earth, the universe, whether living or non-living, bell-shaped curve. So once you see the bell-shaped curve in the breath, it is applicable to the rising and falling. It is applicable to the left leg. It is applicable to the right leg. It's applicable to your anger. It's applicable to your desire. It's applicable to your envious, everything. So the Buddha says, verifiable material object, take it and just see the bell-shaped curve, and later through deductionism or deducing or rationalization of your knowledge, you can apply to the any other thing. So therefore in Patichcha Samuppada, if you are going to start with the theory, you are utterly chaotic. In the whole Atthakatha it says, the bhava, the Patisampada 12 links are in 3 bhavas. Last life, this life and this life. So that means you have to enlighten must consult the 3 bhava. But Buddha says enlightenment is a split second. At that moment everything must be there at the verifiable level. So now when Mr. W.S. Karunatilaka, when he was writing his thesis, he talked principle with the 3 bhavas. And throughout his lecturing, he hated that principle. He taught all the disciples, this is the way people are misled. If the knotting happen in 1 split second, removal of the knot also must happen in the 1 split second. So enlightenment is 1 split second. So therefore, it must be not the past life and the future life, something must be under your very nose. So therefore, practitioners, meditators, Patichcha Samuppada, and the book knowledge of Patichcha Samuppada is completely contradictory. But it won't be a matter if you know the theoreticians are never meditators. They give a model. You have to apply the reductionism way to the then and there, that is called momentary rising and momentary passing away. So it can be applicable to the breath. Even a breath is a very big phenomena in terms of Patichcha Samuppada. Because within a breath, there are 1001 tiny bits, tiny breaths. Each and everything follow the same thing. It is called holographic principle. Each and every tiny particle of the earth represents the whole universe. So therefore, reduced to whatever may be, maybe a breath or maybe rising and falling, whatever may be, and see all the aspects of the phenomena beginning through the middle to the end. And when and where you are ready to see impermanent notion, impermanent nature, that is called anicca sanya, then you are almost about to Nibbana, ready for the understanding, but your theory will be completely smashed. You can't. So therefore, when you are practicing, you are really going against the grain, against the principle, against the theory also you can say, not only against the grain, going against the theory. That's why one day you have to leave all the theory. The Buddha mentioned, Dhammo pivo bhikkave pahatabba bhageva Dhammo. O monks, whatever you learn as Dhamma also you have to give up. What about Adhamma? So that's the worst thing. The day you have to get rid of your sati, the day you have to get rid of your samadhi, the day you have to get rid of your prajna. So I asked Venerable Jnanananda, Kemananda, what does it mean by panya vimukti? Panya vimukti means you are getting rid of your panya. Ceto vimukti means you are getting rid of your samadhi. No more samadhi is your master. Once you get the job done, throw away. It's very difficult for traditional Buddhists to do away with their Dhamma knowledge, and that is why they can't go beyond Dhamma. They can't go, not the Dhamma, beyond theory. So that is what the theory is. Tissa is always talking. It's so worked up. But don't worry. Dhamma is very sharp. If you want straighten, it can easily go to theory. Nothing to worry. But therefore, nothing to, don't develop phobia about the theory. Theories can disturb fools. But if you are smart enough, not a problem. Okay, we have about 10 minutes. There are no questions. We'll take time for the walking meditation. Thank you very much for the participation. And this will be the tomorrow by the discussion we